Let me fix this camera. If you hear some shoveling, that's because the house behind us had a roof put on sometime in the past. They never put tar paper down. They didn't do anything. They just slapped a quick roof on, grabbed their money and ran. Started having leaks and problems and stuff. Finally got real bad. So with all the snow we got, there's 7 Amish guys over there on that roof right now walking around, which I would fall off the roof. Shoveling all the snow off. Now they're shoveling the shingles off. I mean, wow. Okay, that's all I can say. I've done some really wild things when I was flipping houses and getting work done, but to shovel snow off and get up on a roof, Okay, I'm going to show you what we did. Lock that in while we're talking about it. Now, we talked about those front bushings. I don't know if we did this or not. It's been so iffy with these. Trying to make a video when it's cold, I threw so many of them, just deleted so many of them. It's 10 degrees out here right now, -1 with the wind chill. Other than the fact it's freezing up my throat. We'll get with the program here quickly. I'm going to show you how to build a rat rod without spending a ton of money. We're going to take what we got and run with it, put it on the road. The bushings I needed, there's 2 of them that go in the front control arm. They're 3/4 of an inch. Here. All these other measurements match. So I had to come up with this because the hard part was the 1-inch bore up here for the 5-inch bolt. Remember, Packard built these cars to be serviced and last forever, not to work for 100,000 miles and go in the dump. So my bolt's got a little bit bigger shank because I got to drill these holes out because they're kind of wallered just a little bit to get them true. This will tighten it back up. This is a grade 8. But to do that setup with the 5/8 bolt, we had to come up with this bushing. Okay. I spent 3.5 hours online. Here's what I found. Notice the resemblance. 5/8 sleeve, 1-inch. So it's got a 5-inch bore, 1-inch sleeve, 2 bushings that are 1 inch, and I need to take a 1/2 inch off of one of them, which I did. You see where I kind of whacked it off? This adjusts in. To fill the thing properly, cut this and everything's good to go. Now, you say, why did you do that? For a $100 bill. These were $8.62 a piece at Barnes 4-wheel drive. The ones that the car called for the upper control arm bushings, on everywhere I looked, it was like $89 on the average, a little bit more, without the metal sleeve, which add $10 for 2 sleeves. You might as well see you got a $100 bill in it. I got see, 8 and 8, 16, 17. I got $18 plus tax, and then both of them been shipped. So, would you rather spend $18 plus tax and shipping, or $100 plus tax and shipping? Remember, it's going to be extra shipping because the sleeves are going to be sent to you separate. So, pay attention, people, when you're building a car. Those so-called catalogs from all the big suppliers are suggestions and help. They're not. If you're going to build a car, okay, and you're going to just run out and buy parts in a box and bolt them on, you're not a car builder. You're a modifier, in my book. So, what I'm going to do here. Oh, here's the packing slip on them. This to nice flush cut. I don't know if this will work or not. Yeah, it will. Spin it, unlock it, slide it. Now there it is. Yeah, a tad bit loose. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Got a little bit of a burr on it, and it needs to cool down just a touch because that funny smell is my gloves cooking. We're running 2 channels. We're running Rust and Rant Rods and Grumpy Dave's Customs. We'll be back on this one probably tomorrow. I'm gonna come out here, shut the light down. I'm not gonna play with the Rant Rod. I'm gonna set the lights and stuff and start getting this one ready. I got to do some measuring and a bunch of that stuff. I'll explain it to you while I'm doing it. It's probably boring as hell, but I'll get the wiring harness out here and I'll explain it to you. Because I got to prep it because I use a GM style harness. Everybody, the fuse block is on the driver's side. It goes on the passenger side on the MG. There's no place to put it over there. So I got to take that wad of wires that goes to the steering column area, okay, and get them down inside the car. And I got to cut off all these plugs and mark all this stuff. I got to double check it before I touch it, or I'll let my son do it, because those wires will have to be spliced onto to run over to the steering column and everywhere they go, because everything's on the steering column with MG Lucas rocker switches, turn signals, high beams, low beams, and the horn. You tap it in. The other side is a windshield washer. You tap it in. You got the wiper control, off, low, and high. Okay. Let's see if I've got my flap attack here. It seems that I changed the disc. Would help if I put my AI tracker on the camera. But right now, I'm just trying to get back in the swing of things. I've been down too long. To my regular followers, you know, I went through a health issue. And I just had that disc. What did I do with the disc? And I had it in my hand, and I was right here. And I walked over here, I got a whole selection of partially used disc and flappers that I'm not totally burned up yet. I even got some discs different sizes so I can get the head of this thing in there and cut better in places that are tight. And what we'll do is just plug this in. But we'll do, and do a little whoppy do on this. And then we got to go. This weather's awful, isn't it? I am not sure whether this is going to slide in or not. So, we will. I'm probably going to get the stuff on my gloves. I should have some plastic gloves here. I thought I had a new box of them, but obviously I've been using a lot of them and I'm out. Okay? Which means I'm going to have to bare hand this stuff because I don't want to ruin my only pair of good working gloves out here in cold weather. And we'll set this bushing, show you what I'm doing. I'm not sure I'm going to get the other one done before my video time is up. That's it, David. Just get it everywhere. Let's see if I can press these in. Well, how long it's been on the driveway? This is the fastest way. I have found to set the bushing. We'll go get the other one. We'll put it in there and see if we can't get the sleeve to go in. Give me 1 second. This is a lubricant, silicone based, non-petroleum, to deal with these bushings. Seeing that better than spending $90 for this part of the rubber bushings? And then you had to go buy the sleeve. Now these are slightly watered, not much, because you gotta remember this is a 43,000 mile car. It didn't see a whole lot of wear, but it did see a little bit with the in-cracked springs in it before they made a parts car out of it. So I'm gonna have I got a drill bit to go in there and clean these out before I put the new shoulder bolt in, to make sure it's up and tight. Let me get the sleeve. Now, unlike rubber, these won't elongate under pressure, like move forward and back by the rubber compressing. This material is designed not to do that. There it is. Needless to say, this rubber material does not like compression in the cold weather. And there's your bushing. I think I got some junk on this one. Let's see. I gotta get something to sit down on while I'm working. There we go. And we'll keep going. Trying to keep behind the car for the windshield. Okay. Come back. There. Now this has got a spring in it. You can see it right there. But I'm not going to mess with setting that spring tension if I don't have to. There we go. What the heck's going on here? That's what it is. Come on. I'll see what's going on now. June Christmas, all that to get a bushing in. Anyway, that's the way the bushing goes in. Then you got a big washer and little washer, the collar bolt, and the lock nut. Bingo. One minute you're too hot. One, start coughing. There you go. That's how you get $18 worth of bushings, by spending a little bit of time looking at comparable parts. It's going to be fun to rebuild these. But this is a simple part. This is the part I need. Okay, to get in there so we can look at this front end. And we have no clue what's going on under there. I can't get the jack out because it's in a snowbank. So, what we have that we need to address is, let me finish what I'm doing here while I got everything set up. Keep the dirt out of here. I use this stuff on all of her bushings. It worked perfect. Using those big channel lock pliers. I cut the bushings to fit in. To fill the sleeve. The sleeve will go through. This one's got to be adjusted. I'm going to have to flapper tack that lip and size this one to fit separate. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Make sure I don't have any metal protrusion on the inside. Put this part right here. Unplug this just to unplug it. Give me a second. Oh, get off camera here just for a minute. I gotta charge my battery a little bit. Okay. Because I gotta pull that wheel off, get everything off like this one, so I can do that bushing. I'm not gonna do it on camera. You just saw what I have to do. What we're gonna try to do before I run out of time here, I'm gonna set the camera up underneath and find out why I got an inch of free play in that steering wheel when the gearbox appears to be turning the control arms immediately. So we're going to figure out what's wallered out. And to do that, what I'm going to do, people, is to set this up underneath the car facing up and then move the steering. So when you see the video, you'll see what I'm looking at. Tried it anyway. Okay. Well, we're going to have to cut this video here. That wind's murder. I got to go over and shovel so I can do this. I'm not going to do that on camera. I don't need material that bad. Never did. So hang in there. We'll be right back.